Hello, hello, welcome. We're just a little bit late. We had some technical difficulties and some were in the Zoom, but not going live on YouTube. So, welcome everybody. Hold on. There we go. So, we are up and going. And for you who are on Zoom, we're going to start over. Here we go. So, I'm Stacy Paulson. And whether you're here from the 14-day challenge because some people are in that right now, right in the middle of it, or you just found this event either online or from a friend, maybe you were invited to attend. I'm about to show you something simple and is a proven way to feel better, move better, and to create a strong, supportive community, all while building a better life for yourself, creating income that if that's something that you want. And this is about making real, lasting change in your health and also helping others to do the same. Let's get this going. So go ahead and drop in the comments or in the chat if you're on Zoom. What made you say yes to this event tonight? What are you hoping to figure out? And if you're watching the replay, go ahead and do the same. Put that in the comments. So here's the deal. Let me make that bigger for you. Really fast. We'll get this. One more. There we go. You should be able to see that better now. So I didn't grow up using natural products. I grew up in a small town, worked since I was 8, and I always tried to do the things that I was told to do the right way. So if I got sick, we would go to the doctor, get a prescription, just kind of pushing through things. But by my 30s, I was exhausted. I had migraines every week, constant sinus infections, multiple miscarriages. And I felt like my body was breaking down and nobody could really tell me why. It was like I was doing everything right, but still everything was going wrong. Then one day I found a friend of mine. We were flying kites in a hayfield and I started having my allergies. And since I'm 12, I had a medication, but didn't have it with me. And she came up to me with a bottle of essential oil. And I put a couple drops on my finger and I rubbed it across the bridge of my nose. And within minutes, my allergies were gone. And I thought, that was kind of crazy. I thought she was a little nuts too, right? Like I didn't know what this was, but I was desperate. So I tried it and something shifted that led me to dig harder and deeper, to research, to experiment, to test, and to learn. And I stopped outsourcing my wellness and started building something that actually worked for me. So today I'm 50. I have 6 kids. You can see them and a grandson and 2 daughter-in-laws. One of my daughter-in-laws missing from that. I run a business and I'm not on a single prescription drug. Neither is my husband, neither are my kids. And it's not because we're lucky, with genes. It's because we've built some simple daily habits that support real health. And of course, we have things that come up for sure. And we are willing to go the traditional route if we need to. But that's kind of in reserve, right? That's not our first go-to. And that's what many of you are working on or have already created for yourself, the sustainable wellness and routines and habits. And maybe you're feeling kind of the call to help others or to do something meaningful that can also create and improve your finances, right? To create more income. So let's take a look at where most people are at. So here are some important things to know. 93% of Americans are metabolically unhealthy. What that means is they might be overweight, they might have the blood pressure out of range, blood sugar levels out of range, right? 93% of Americans. That means there's only 7% who are healthy metabolically. That's crazy. Over 50% of children are either overweight or obese. 70% of young people don't even qualify for military service because of their health. And cardiovascular disease is the #1 cause of death globally. And in the United States, over 900,000 deaths a year. That's, again, crazy. And these numbers are staggering. And this really should be a wake up call for every single one of us, because all of us will be impacted, whether it's ourselves or someone that we love and care about. And the truth is that we are, as a society, getting sicker, not healthier. But also, here's the good news. Experts estimate that up to 80 to 90% of cardiovascular disease is preventable through lifestyle modification. So we're going to be talking about that. Many we've talked about in our Wellness Made Simple workshop. Others are experiencing them in our 14-day challenge. And these aren't life overhauls. These are pretty simple things that all of us can do. And also with doTERRA, we have some real evidence-based solutions that work. So let's get real. And I want to ask you, those who are on live, either in Zoom or YouTube or Facebook Live, go ahead and put in the chat, like, what are some of the big areas of concern, either for yourself or people that you're around or people that you're working with? I know we have a lot of wellness advocates and doTERRA customers. Go ahead and put in the chat. If there's one of those or many of those, go ahead and comment. What are the big ones that are on your mind? And I know life shifts, right? Like there might be times when I'm sick and I don't feel well. So immune is like your number one, but there might be other things that you're dealing with on a regular basis. You can go ahead and put that in the chat. Sleep, digestion, focus, hormones, energy, pain, anything. And sometimes the hardest part is just kind of naming what you want to feel better about, right? But once we know, we can start connecting the dots, right? And coming up with those solutions. So yeah, stress, metabolism, sleep. Thanks, Sandra. 179, digestion. I'm looking at the little chart there, asthma, allergies, metabolism. And here's the thing, like these are all kind of the top common things that most people are dealing with, or that you have someone that you love is dealing with. So what actually creates sustainable health, right? I love this chart because it can help you to see like the most important areas, but also that our wellness is impacted by many different things. And you can see here with the lifestyle, these are choices that we can make with our nutrition, our digestion. That's getting the nutrients in to be able to fuel our cells, because our body is made up of these cells. And if we're not giving it the fuel that it needs, as those cells are rejuvenating and multiplying, right, they're not going to have the building blocks that they need. And that's when you're going to start seeing that breakdown. You're going to start seeing these things go wrong, and your body, the symptoms, those are speaking up to you. They're telling you like, hey, pay attention here. Maybe you have some allergies. Well, did you know that that's not normal? That when there's something that's not harmful and we're having a reaction to it, that's our body saying something. There's something going on. There's something wrong going on here. So just like me, when I started, since I was 12, having allergies, and being on medication until I was like 35, once I started shifting things and giving my body what it needed, they went away. It wasn't that I was using oils or anything else to manage allergies. Like all of a sudden they just started going away because I was giving my body what it needed. So you can kind of look at this. There's different areas of focus, and at different times of life, we might have a focus on different things. But if we're not sleeping, it might be because we're deficient in some vital nutrients, or our bodies aren't absorbing those nutrients to be able to create the energy that our bodies need, that metabolic energy. The metabolism isn't functioning like it should because we're not getting these core pieces. So here is a shocking truth, but 90% of Americans are deficient in at least one essential nutrient. And when we say essential, that means your body doesn't produce it. You have to consume it. You have to get it from outside sources. So even if you're eating healthy, we're up against some really big challenges because we have soil depletion. We have these farming practices that really deplete the nutrients that are in our food. And it takes a lot to be able to consume what we need. And so that's why a lot of people are filling in the gaps with like supplements, right? They're taking supplements that can be helpful to fill in those gaps. And so we're not really concerned, did I get everything that I needed from my food? Because that can be really hard. An example of this is that like food 50 years ago, or gosh, now that's 75 years, now that we're like 2025, like where does time fly? 1950, one orange has the same amount of vitamin C that 8 oranges do today. That's just one example of that. And if we're lacking vitamin C, some of the things that we're going to experience are like fatigue, low energy, brain fog, mood swings, weakened immune systems, getting sick more often than we really need to, stiff, achy joints, because vitamin C is crucial for collagen production. And that's just one nutrient, one of the many that we might be depleted in. And just thinking like spinach. Uh, in the 1950s had way more iron, and by the time the spinach is picked and put on our plate, like most of the nutrients that we think of that are found in spinach aren't even there, right? So those are just some things to think about, and also be thinking about how uh, if we are dealing with certain challenges now, a lot of these have stemmed from years of depletion where we're it's been going on for a while. And what happens is our bodies are pretty amazing. So if we're depleted in something, it will start just taking resources from one place and then taking it to another place. But over time, there's going to be that breakdown, and you're really going to start seeing that. And so that was me in my 30s. I was dealing with all of these challenges because it had been years of depletion and me not knowing it until my body was really starting to say, "Hey," screaming at me, "You need more." And that's what I loved is where supplements had come in. So you can take a look at this. Now I had for years, because having 6 kids, was on a lot of prenatal vitamins, and I usually would just get them from Costco. And I was taking them because I knew that I was supposed to take them, but I never felt any different. And for all those years, I was taking those, but then my body, it was depleted. It was missing things. And so it can be a challenge to kind of know, like, what should I do? I know I need this, but do I go grab that thing at Costco, or do I grab that off online, or my friend says this or whatever? Like, it can be really confusing and hard. And what I love with doTERRA is their purity, their quality, their transparency, as far as knowing where they come from, what's in them, that the testing that is done to validate, like if it says this is in it, it's been validated to know that's actually what's in it. So I'm not going to go deep into any of that, but that's just one of the problems. So that's number one big problem. The second big problem that we're really dealing with is this lack of movement, right? Between working parents, commuting, scrolling, the average adult spends more time sitting than sleeping. And movement isn't just about weight. It affects your circulation, your brain function, detox, metabolism, energy, and emotional regulation. And you don't need to become a gym rat to not be, to overcome this, right? But your body really was designed to move daily. So even 10 minutes to 20 minutes a day creates a massive difference over time when we're consistent with that. So let's talk about how we can overcome these two major problems that can contribute to health challenges, as well as what helps us to get healthy and stay healthy. And for those of you who are in the 14-day challenge, you are doing this, you are experiencing this. And I'm loving like all of the wins that people are experiencing. If you're not in that group, like, you want to be in there, because it is so motivating to see other people's like habits that they're creating or that they're improving on. So all this is, I mean, it's so simple. It's like the book with the slide edge book, if you've read that, where the things that are easy to do, they're also easy not to do. And so there's things like, if you were to save like 5% or 10% of your income since you were younger, right? That just became a habit. It's not hard to do. But if you did that, sustain it like for a long time, like the amount of millions you're going to have from that, it's really, but it's also easy to just spend that 10%, right? Not to do that. It's the same thing with our health. So the things that we're doing in the challenge are addressing these root issues that most people have. So number one is growing your mind. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. The second one is fueling your cells, giving your cells what they need. And then the third one is moving your body. So those are we call them the big three. These are the non-negotiables within the 14-day challenge. And then we have a bonus one. This is one about connection, because also our health is tied to how connected we feel. Because loneliness, what studies have shown, if you are experiencing loneliness, it impacts your physical and emotional health. So that's a bonus one in there. And most people do it because it's so simple to do and how it makes them feel. So to explain what we're doing in the challenge, for those who aren't familiar with this, and for those who are, just bear with me. And you're welcome to put in the chat if you're doing the challenge, or in the comments, if you're part of this challenge, like, what has been your experience with it? What have you loved about it? So during this challenge, Each day you commit to do these things. Number one is to grow your mind, because the beliefs that we have will fuel the thoughts that we have. So if we have a belief, it will trigger thoughts when things happen. We'll have a certain thought, and that thought will create an emotion within us. And when we have certain emotions, we tend to take certain actions. So if we have certain beliefs that create certain thoughts that are maybe negative or disempowering, then we might feel disempowered. We might feel lonely, or we might feel depressed or have anxious feelings, right? And then what do we do? Like, what actions do we take when we're feeling that way? And oftentimes, these aren't things that are positive for our health. They can be very destructive. And so it's really powerful to be able to have things that you're putting in your mind to grow your mindset, that are those powerful, empowering things. And so we have like a 5-minute video or less that you watch each day that helps with that mindset piece. And then fueling yourselves. So for many people, they are using doTERRA's, it's called the Foundational Wellness Bundle, because it literally takes less than 2 minutes to be able to fuel yourselves, to get all the vitamins and minerals, nutrients, greens, phytonutrients, your omegas, your probiotics. And we'll talk a little bit about that. But within 2 minutes, like, you can check the box, right? Like, ooh, okay, did that. For those who don't have it, no problem. We are recommending that you're doing the hydration challenge. That would be the first thing to do. If you're not drinking at least half your body weight in water, then that would be the challenge we recommend you doing until that becomes a habit. And then once that's a habit, you can stack something else on that. So it might be getting more greens, might be reducing processed food, but you're just doing things that are slightly out of your comfort zone, and you do them long enough until it becomes comfortable. So there's this key within athletic training, and it's basically like, you want to do something just a little uncomfortable. And then when it's comfortable, you're going to push yourself again, right? And you don't want to do anything that's too uncomfortable, because you're going to get injured, or it's not sustainable. You're going to, there's going to be a day you miss and you're like, I can't do this, right? So this is very simple to do. So it's either doing the wellness bundle or doing hydration, or you're up leveling on where you're at right now. Really easy to do. And then the third piece is moving your body. The first week we do 10 minutes, at least 10 minutes a day, right? There's some people who are sedentary, and this is just their push, like, hey, go for a walk after dinner, right? Just start that habit. And there's others who have things that they're doing, but they're starting to up level it, right? Maybe it's more time, or maybe they're shifting and they're adding a little bit of weights in there, but it's something that's just a little slightly out of their comfort zone. These are the three things, and we're seeing huge success in that. People are doing it, right? They're sustaining that. And oftentimes when somebody starts a challenge, I don't know about you, but usually there's this period of time where you're really excited about it. And then it gets to the point where you're like, you don't feel good. You don't feel like getting up. You're like, I'm sore, or I'm tired, or something comes up. You're like, somebody gets sick, whatever. The excitement wanes, and then people quit. Like, that is totally normal. But so far in this challenge, this one that people are going through, they are sticking to it, because we actually do have a fun reward for people who complete that, because the idea is not perfection. It's just checking in. So every day they're checking in, because they get a health assessment at the end. So it's creating results that way. And this is what we're inviting other people to join in, because we want to create a movement. We want to create a movement from the ground up, where people are taking control of their health, and they're starting to do sustainable things that will move the needle for them, right? Instead of thinking of these quick fixes, right? This pill to fix that, and this surgery to fix that. Like, let's work on the habits that are evidence-based, scientifically proven for generations. These are the things we're talking about. Getting the right nutrients into our cells so they can build properly, and having that mindset, as well as moving our body. Because when you do all those together, it just creates a beautiful synergistic effect. And we're doing it in a way that is sustainable. This is something that you can do even if you're sick. Like, we had someone in there who, her mom was going through surgery. So she was going to be in the hospital with her mom, like, doing all this stuff. And she still got her 10 minutes in. And I think we're on the 20 minutes week. So she was going to do 10 minutes later. It's like, but we're mindful and we're intentional, and we're doing this collaboratively together. So think about, or imagine, if you're waking up and your body is getting exactly what it needs. There's no guesswork, there's no juggling 12 different pills, no tackling, charts and making it complicated. That's why we really do advocate for people using this 2-minute morning boost, this wellness bundle, because it makes it so easy to make sure that you're getting those things. And people are experiencing different things with it, where your people are being more patient, right? Emotionally, they're being impacted. They're recovering better, faster. They're sleeping better because of these things. So I'm going to just quickly, really fast, just go over the things in the wellness bundle. And then I'm going to talk about how we are also creating this movement by connecting with others, inviting other people to do this free challenge with us. And if they want to use the wellness bundle, it is also a way for you to create extra income. Okay, so the three components of this, you get VMG, which are your vitamin, minerals, and greens. And you just mix this up in some water. It actually tastes good. It's not like green sludge. For those of you who have tried it that are on, go ahead and put in the chat or in the comments, like what's your experience with tasting this? Because my kids actually crave it. My 11-year-old just turned 12. She takes half of it. So she has her little half packet usually sitting there, and she just loves it. It tastes really, really good. And then we have the omegas, which are your omega fatty acids, and then probiotics, and you get a free bottle of peppermint when you first purchase this bundle. Now, what I love about the VMG, the greens, is that it's usually stuff like I eat okay, right? But I know I don't get everything that I need on a daily basis. And it can be hard to get greens. And also it can be hard if you're traveling or busy or whatever. You don't feel good. You still know that you're getting this. And I love that with this formula that they've created, you get 4 to 6 times better absorption than you do with a single dose of regular vitamins and minerals. So you get 4 times more vitamin C, which means stronger immunity, almost 4 or 5.5 times more vitamin E, which means healthier skin, heart, and brain, over 6 times more iron. So you're going to have more energy and oxygen coming into those cells. And with this, it's kind of like, imagine if your car was, every time you filled it up with gasoline, it generally would get 100 miles. But now when you fuel your body with this, you're getting 400 to 600 miles with that. So that's huge. I also like that it is affordable, because like in order to get all of these things and you're trying to get it through food or through supplements, it's over $250 to get this. And so that can be really expensive and hard for people to do that, right? And I love also that in the trials, for people who were for doing this trial, within 6 weeks, there was a 43% reduction in their inflammatory markers. That's amazing. As well as there was an associated, on average, there was a biological age reduction of 2 years. So their cells were acting 2 years younger. Is that amazing? And this really is like the closest thing to getting a daily IV drip without the needle or going to the spa or paying that price tag, right? And then the omegas, I absolutely love these. My dad died of a heart attack at the age of 52. And I remember the day I got the phone call. It was the day after Christmas, and I was working at this bank, at a bank, and my mom said, go in the back, I have something to tell you. And she proceeded to tell me that my father had passed away while he was at the gym working out. The challenge for him is he was working out, but he wasn't getting the nutrients that his body needed. That doctors were just putting him on medications and kind of band-aiding the problem instead of trying to get to the root cause of the problem. One of the most beneficial things that we could take for our cardiovascular health, which is the number one killer of Americans, are getting your omegas, right? So signs of low omega-3s are brain fog, joint pain, mood swings, dry skin or brittle nails, a high resting heart rate. And so I love these because you're getting 900 milligrams of the highest quality omega-3s. So that's 3 times more than most store brands. Plus it includes wild orange essential oil, which prevents oxidation and improves taste. So you're not getting those fishy burps, right? And one of my favorite stats from this is that it can lower your resting heart rate by 4 beats per minute. That's 2 million beats fewer every single year. So it's helping to reduce the wear and tear on your heart. So I just absolutely love that. So can one take too much of omegas? I have heard, so Jamie, I've heard that like people are taking 6, 10 of these. I would, check that, but our bodies really know what to do with them, right? Then another piece of this is your gut. So your gut is the command center for your whole body. 70 to 80% of your immune system and 90% of your serotonin. So that's your feel good hormone. And it impacts your metabolism, inflammation, and your skin, and a lot of other things. So the PB Restore, this is more than just a probiotic, right? It's a full blown system. So it has prebiotics, which are kind of like the fertilizer for your gut. Then we have the probiotics, which are the live beneficial bacteria that our bodies need. And then we have a postbiotic. So this provides immediate benefits like reduced bloating. And then we have what's called phages in there. And this is kind of the cleanup of the bad bacteria that most probiotics ignore. And this is why it works, because it's not just planting seeds. Like when people usually think of probiotics, you're just thinking of those live cultures. But this is so much more, and it's needed in order for those probiotics to actually work. So when you balance your gut, you get better digestion. So those nutrients coming into your body are actually getting broken down and absorbed so your body can use them. Sharper focus, fewer cravings, more energy, happier mood, and clearer skin. Now, this is just a picture of kind of a visual. You can see the impact of this wellness bundle. You can see the inflammation going down. Her skin is getting smoother, right? People are experiencing more energy, emotional stability. Cardiovascular age is 7 years less than my actual age. That is awesome. Who doesn't want that, right? So imagine this. You wake up, you mix your 2-minute, your VMG, within 2 minutes, you take your omegas, your probiotics, and you get this free bottle of peppermint. You put a drop in your hand, you breathe it in, and you're just ready to go. You are on fire. Your brain is on fire, right? You are ready to go. And you didn't have to do like a complete overhaul. But of course, as you start feeling better and have more energy, you're going to start making other nutritional changes. You're going to be making smarter choices, better choices, because you feel better. You're going to have less cravings. So of course, you're going to be making better choices. Emotionally, you're going to be feeling better. So a lot of people, including myself, like I will eat emotionally, right? And it's usually stuff that's not good for me. So you see the impact by doing this just 2-minute morning routine on people's health. Now, kind of as we switch from like knowing we have this 14-day challenge where it's for free. You don't have to purchase a wellness bundle, but you can. But it helps people to start creating these sustainable habits and seeing how easy it is to do that. And other people are inviting their friends to participate in well. In fact, I was just at lunch with a friend and she asked, like, I see this, on Facebook, you're doing this challenge. Like, what is it? And I explained it to her, and she wants to participate and she wants to bring friends because she's like, I know I'll more likely do it if I'm doing it with some friends. So now we're kind of transitioning, thinking about how we can make a greater impact and also impact on our own lives. Let me ask you, what could an extra $500 or an extra $2,000 a month do for you and your family? You can go ahead and put that in the chat or in the comments, or if you watch the replay, put that. Like, how would that impact you? Would it help with bills, groceries, healthy food? Maybe you'd finally take that family vacation that you've been dreaming about, or even create a little extra like wiggle room in your budget so it's reducing stress levels for you, or maybe somebody that you love. And for some of us, it might be saving for child's college fund. Like, we have 4 adults now. 3 are in college. 1 is going on a mission and he'll be back for college. Like, it can be really expensive. So it's not about making millions, although you can. It's about having options, and it's about making an impact. So let's just talk about another problem that people are dealing with. It's how expensive, grocery bills are, just bills in general. They might be piling up. In fact, 2 out of 3 Americans, that's 65%, they live paycheck to paycheck. So they're just one bill away from trouble. That could be your neighbors, your coworkers, maybe it's you. And then 39% of us, 80 million people, are hunting for extra income to survive or to thrive. So what if a simple, flexible side income could ease that stress for you or someone that you know? And we're going to quickly talk about hauling buckets versus building a pipeline quickly. And then I'm going to show you how people are using the 14-day challenge and this wellness bundle to create this extra income and also to make an impact in other people's lives. So most jobs are like hauling buckets. You work and you get paid. You stop working and there's no more water, right? No more money. So type a 1 in the chat if you like what you do, but it doesn't give you kind of the time freedom that you want. And then type a 2 in there if you're thinking, please get me out of this job and into something else, right? That maybe something that you like more. For me, one of my goals was to stop trading hours for dollars. And this was early on when I was having kids because I wanted to have the flexibility to be present with my kids. I wanted to be there for them, but I also wanted to make an impact in the sense like I went to college, I had a degree, I have skills, I want to contribute, right? Not just in my home, but outside my home. And so finding a solution for myself to be able to create income was one of those things that I wanted to do. So this is an example of a woman who hauled buckets of water every day from a water source in her village. And the more she worked, the more she earned. Anybody experience that? I used to have a business where I sold scrapbook supplies online. The more I sold, the more we made. Like within 3 years, we were able to build it and pay off a custom home. The more that we sold, the more we earned. We were completely out of debt. It was amazing, right? But it was exhausting. Just like this woman, hauling buckets of water was exhausting for her. And then one day she thought, well, what if I use my spare time and maybe a little extra money and start building this pipeline so that this pipeline would just lead right into the village and I could just turn the spigot on. So that's what she did. And it took effort. It wasn't overnight, but the day that she turned that spigot on, everything changed. She successfully created an unlimited supply of water, improving the lives of the people in her community and secured her own financial future. This wasn't just about her creating income. She was also making an impact on people's lives. And her entire life changed. Most of us are taught about hauling buckets, right? And listen, it's honorable. Teachers, doctors, baristas, even most direct sellers are hauling buckets, but we're still trading time for money. So doTERRA has given us an option to build a pipeline. For me, it's taken work up front, yes, but once that flow was going, it keeps delivering water and income. So whether you're working a lot or just enough to maintain the pipeline, you're seeing you're getting paid over and over again for that work that you did. So imagine instead of hauling buckets every day, you could actually build a pipeline. And so that's what I want to speak about is how you can build residual income that keeps flowing long after the work has been done. And it truly impacts people with their health all around the world. So here's how this works. Some people call it the path to 500. You can call it whatever you want. It's a beautiful path to freedom. So here's an example. Step 1. This could be month 1. This is where you join the 14-day challenge and you join using the wellness bundle, right? You're experiencing it yourself. You're inviting 4 other people to do that with you. So you have this team of people who are wanting to improve their health habits and create a sustainable wellness regimen throughout their whole life. And they're using this wellness bundle to help fuel their cells, right? And so that's month 1. Then month 2, you're doing the same thing, like kind of on repeat. You're inviting 4 more people to do this 14-day challenge with you. And you're inviting at least 3 of the people from month 1 to also invite their 4 people, get their own little pod, that's little group of people who are doing that 14-day challenge. They're using the wellness bundle, which by the way, has a 30-day money back guarantee. So I say, hey, people, try it. See how you feel as you use it. See what it tastes like. See how you experience, your experience with it. It's like no risk at all. Plus you have the 14-day challenge program that we've created to help you be accountable and to know what to do. And we support each other and you start seeing these wins and it just keeps you consistent, right? So month 2, you're inviting 4 more people to really up-level their life, get the wellness bundle, and you have at least 3 people who are doing that same thing, right? From that, it helps you to create a $500 income. So in month 3, when that happens again, you're 4 people, you You can get 4 more people, which I recommend. If you do this for 3 months in a row, get 4 people month 1, invite 4 more people the next month, and 4 people the next month, and you're just helping others to do that same thing. We create a movement by doing that. And people don't have to get the bundle, but when they do, they're going to see better results and it will make it easier for them. Plus, it also gives you that opportunity to tap into doTERRA's system where you can get paid income for that, for helping support people live a better life. So just by doing this, so month 1, month 2, month 3, by month 4, you are earning, if you're 3 people that you had invited that month 1 also have like a pot of people that they're working with and they're earning $500. By having that, you could be earning around $2,000 a month. So to take a look at that again, right? All that would take, having this in place, you have these 4 people who are using the wellness bundle. They're improving their lives, their health, their wellness, right? Their emotional health by using that. And then at least 3 of these people are also doing that same thing where they have 4 people who are in their, we call them little pods here, right? They have their little pods. And you're supporting them, like cheering them on, that you can create for yourself $500. But when you help 3 other people create that $500 a month, that creates almost $2,000 a month for you. And what would that do for you? What would that do for your family? I love it. We're calling it the 500 and the 2000 club by hitting those bonuses and helping other people. And so that's really what it is. Do we have any questions? You can put that in the chat or in the comments, any questions about it. But really, it's simple to get started. Our next challenge begins June 9th. You're welcome to join now and just kind of see what people are doing and start preparing. Like, who do you want to invite? Who do you want to join you in this next challenge? It's not hard, and you'll be surprised. There are so many people who want to make a change, but they have tried so many times. How many of those people that you know that start in January with this big goal? I'm going to get in shape. This is the year, right? I'm going to lose the weight. I'm going to do this different. I'm going to eat better. They have the goal. They want to, but come mid-January, come February, it's gone, right? And they feel like a failure. How many of those people are out there waiting for you to give them the invitation? Like, hey, you want to join me in this? It's just about creating sustainable habits that over time will transform your wellness. That is why I am in the health that I am in. Not that I haven't had challenge, and not that I'm not going to continue to have challenges that come up, but in a far better place, because every single day I grow my mind. Every single day I move my body. Every single day I fuel my cells, and I am intentional about connecting with people. Now, it's easy to do with a family that is as large as mine, but there are a lot of people out there who don't have that. And you can be that for them, that connection, to help with the loneliness that's going on out there, to be able to reach out. And in our family, we have a chat that we use. It's a text thread. It's our workout buddies thread. And so every day people will put in what their workout was, and we'll comment on it, but it doesn't really take a lot of time. You don't have to comment on it. We'll probably just heart it. If somebody does something crazy, you're like, whoa, what did you do? Or we know they're working on a goal, we like cheer them on. Or if they haven't shown up in the chat, like for a bit, like, hey, what's up? What's going on? And it helps to hold them accountable. So I absolutely love that. All right. So are there any questions before we jump off here? Just checking the chat threads. 30-day money-back guarantee, is that only for the BMG or also for that bundle? Yep, they will return. You can return the whole bundle. 30-day money-back guarantee. Can you take too much? I think I answered that one. At least, yes. First thing in the morning, because I want my body to have all the nutrients for the rest of the day. Yes, and the trials shown that it's in their bloodstream. So most vitamins, just if you're not aware, that there's this about an hour long where those vitamins and minerals will be in the bloodstream for your body to access. And after that hour, they just get flushed out. So if they're not used, you lose them, right? And a lot of times we're buying these vitamins and they have a high dose in there because studies say like we're depleted this much, so they're trying to compensate for our depletion. But what the bigger deal is they're not bioavailable, meaning like our bodies don't absorb them. So even though they're available there, our body isn't pulling on those. And because they're only in your body for about an hour, that they get flushed. So you're just really flushing your money down the toilet. But with the VMG, they've shown that they at least 8 hours, probably beyond, but the study only went for 8 hours, that these nutrients were there for your cells to be pulling on as well. So I like that. I appreciate that. Um, Yes, so yummy. Mix it with a couple of other things I take each morning. I bet you, Sandra, you probably do the collagen. I do the collagen as well. There might be some other things. Um, yes, it's amazing. Awesome. Okay. If there are any other questions for you who want to participate in the 14-day challenge, connect with the person who invited you to this. You can ask in the comments. We just want to make sure that you're coming in. We will let you into the Facebook group. We have a challenge guide that you can download, and that's something that you can start prepping right now. And you can start these habits right now, right? For the next 14-day challenge, what we say in the group, so in the Facebook group, if you're a lurker, if you're not participating, then you get booted, right? And also, if you complete the 14-day challenge, then you get the reward. You get the health scan, where it can give you some customized insights on in like what your body is needing, and maybe places where you could focus a little bit more, and some things that you could do to focus on those. So that is kind of your reward for being consistent with it. All right, so I think we're going to jump off. I have a meeting to go to, but thank you everybody for joining. For those who watch the replay, comments, put them in the, or questions, put them in the comments, and we'll make sure that we get those answered, and we'll make sure that we get you the link to be able to join the Facebook group and join the challenge if that's something that you want to do. But right now, start prepping your list. Who do you want to make a difference? Whose lives do you want to make a difference in, right? Make that list, start inviting, and let's get moving. All right. Good night, guys.